Hi everyone, I just wanted to share with you the birth story of my son. It took place actually in Switzerland, in Zurich. And I had actually gone into the birth expecting to do an epidural like all my friends had. And after doing research and learning more about my own body and also learning more about the Swiss system, I actually decided to have a natural birth, but didn't have a role model that I could really follow. But went ahead, decided to do it, and in Switzerland they actually suggest you do acupuncture 4 weeks before your due date. And so after my third acupuncture session, the midwife actually said to me she felt like I was ready. She had seen that my belly had dropped from the last session, and she said when she twisted the needles in my body, she felt the energy was very well balanced and I was very relaxed. So that night, actually exactly at midnight, as I was asleep, I felt a pop and my eyes flew open, and I thought, oh my gosh, my water just broke. So I called to my husband. It was a frenzy. We grabbed my hospital bag, we called the hospital, got into the car. It was the middle of winter time in Zurich. We showed up at the hospital and I was taken in by the midwife. In Switzerland, it's an integrated system of midwife and OB-GYNs to attend every birth. And she checked my vitals, everything looked good. I had not felt any contractions at the time, but she was looking on the monitor and she said, wait a sec, did you feel that? And I said, no. So then 5 minutes later again, she said, okay, did you feel that? And I felt this very kind of dull pain in my lower back. So she said, well, instead of kind of having you sleep through the night, let's get your birth going. So she suggested I go for a walk with my husband. It was the middle of winter again, so she suggested we take the stairs, which I'd never heard of before. So I grabbed my bathrobe, flip-flops, we're padding through this deserted hospital hallway, and we started down the stairs, started at floor D. By the time we got to K, my contractions were intense enough that I really had to stop and catch my breath. And so we decided to go back to the intake room. And she said, well, you're only 1 to 2 centimeters along, so why don't you continue to labor in this room? Which I did for about 2-3 hours. Walked around, did squats, talked to my family. And then they transitioned me to the birth room at that time. And the birth room, the only way I could describe it, it's kind of like a classy private gym, almost, when you walked in. There were ropes hanging from the ceiling. There was a big birth bathtub. There was a birthing bed, a chaise lounge. There was yoga balls, mats on the floor. And the midwife came in at that point and labored with me for the next couple of hours. So I think I did everything. I sat on the yoga ball, bounced up and down. I hung on this rope to kind of relax my lower extremities. I was kind of froggy style for a while, and she had offered to give me acupuncture actually during the point where there's a lot of intense pain in my lower back. And about 6 or 7 in the morning, actually 9 in the morning, a couple of hours after that, they said they were going to get the birth bath ready. And I remember feeling so relieved because just hearing the water was so calming. And so they filled this bath up. I stepped inside and immediately the dynamics of my contractions started to change dramatically. So it changed from kind of, intense to one right after the other. And I do remember feeling like, okay, this is extremely gripping. And I had asked for nitrous oxide, which they offer in Switzerland. And my husband recalls that I grabbed this mask and breathed so hard that my eyes crossed to try and manage this pain. But the third time I grabbed for this mask, I looked at the midwives. By that point, there was 3 midwives and the OB-GYN in the room. And I said, I have to push. There was this incredible feeling that I had to push. And they said, no, you're not ready yet. Don't, no, something's going to happen. I said, no, I have to right now. And so they checked me and they said, oh my gosh, you're actually 10 centimeters long. And so they actually put me upright, so I was squatting in the tub. And I tried to push, but the water at that point was too relaxing. And so they actually moved me onto the birth bed. And I think for me, that was the most intense kind of primal time. And I just remember trying to channel all my energy into pushing this baby out, and he just wasn't coming. And at some point, as I was focused on trying to push, all of a sudden my husband said, look up. And I look up, and kind of sit up, and again, I'm actually vertical during this process. I'm not lying on my back. There's my son, and there's this purple, creamy, screaming baby. And I just remember being totally overcome with, joy and relief. They just cleaned him up and they put him right onto my chest, and he started to nurse actually right away. And we just, I think the world felt very, very complete at that time. And so with the second one, we're hoping for a similar experience as we navigate the system here. Thank you.